Welcome to JustWannaQuilt, a research podcast coming out of Tulane University Law School, where we explore all kinds of things, stories about quilting, tools, field trips, maybe some famous quilters stop by, and, of course, a little bit of copyright thrown in just for fun. This is Elizabeth Townsend-Gard. I'm a law professor at Tulane University Law School. I'm also, I have two fellowships right now, one at the Business School for Entrepreneurship, the LePage Faculty Fellow, and I also have another really cool fellowship at the Newcomb Institute, the Greenbaum Fellowship, looking at narrativity, gender, and fiber. And, of course, I just want to quilt. Okay, so today on the trademark lectures, we're going to look at local, state, or federal trademark. There are three systems of trademark law that kind of interact with each other. And we want to understand why federal trademark is the best. That's kind of the goal of the next few minutes. So first we have common law trademark. You start to use a mark and you have priority of that use. Now, in olden times, that was totally fine. You got the use of your mark in your small area, in your city, or in a county, or in a state where your business is. But that's the only area that you have that common law mark. Now, with the advent of hashtags and the internet, this is not strong enough protection. It just isn't, and we'll talk about that in just a second. The second kind is a state trademark. So you can file a trademark registration in your state. You can look it up, and then you get priority of that mark throughout your state. But again, we live in a world that's much more global and international and national. And so if someone files a federal trademark of the same mark in the same class as yours, you'll only be able to use your mark in your state. So it's a risk. It's a little bit less expensive usually, but it is a risk. The third kind is federal trademark. You file your trademark application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the USPTO. It gives you priority in the whole country. And again, why does this matter? Most businesses now are on the internet and they have social media presence. They use hashtags. And so you want to protect throughout the U.S. your work. The government fees for this range from $225 to $400 depending on how you file. And it allows you to have priority of that mark. It allows you to keep others from using that mark as a source identifier, and that is super important. You also can keep imports from coming in. You can do all kinds of things. It gives you more, a whole bunch of rights that you wouldn't have if you didn't federally register your mark. Now, again, we are very pro registering your mark. There are some people who aren't. But I think in the world that we live in, it's particularly with hashtags as source identifiers, this is super duper important. That's it. So let's talk a little bit of that's it for the three categories: common law, state, and federal. Let's talk a little bit about beyond the United States. Trademark is territorial. That is, you file an application in the jurisdiction in which you want to use the mark. There are a number of ways to do this. So you can file directly in a particular country you want to be selling goods in, or there's a treaty that allows you to register in a bunch of different countries all at once called the Madrid Protocol. Now, this is not an inexpensive thing, and it's a little bit complicated. We have a little bit in the book, the Just Wanna Trademark book about Madrid Protocol, but it does allow you to have priority of your U.S. registration in other countries. So if that's something that's of concern to you, now some people say, well, I want my mark protected all over the world. You'd have to do that with each individual country, and it's quite expensive. And even big companies don't necessarily do that. They're looking to the markets that they are most, where they're doing business, not to registering every single mark in every single jurisdiction. There are also some of these marks do have, like the European Union has an EC mark, and so that allows you to register in the European community for all, and then you get 1 mark for like all of the EU countries. The one drawback with that is that if it gets rejected in one country, it kicks it out of that mark. But with a lot of good research and preparation, which is kind of what our book teaches you how to do, that's not really a problem. So Madrid Protocol. The other thing is to look at Canada. Canada did join the Madrid Protocol. Previously, you had to find a Canadian lawyer to process your application, but now you can go through Madrid. From what I've seen, it's about the same cost. Madrid may be a little bit more expensive, but if you wanted to register your trademark and you are not from Canada, then you do need to find an attorney to help you with that. And that's all we do for territory and trademark. If you are interested in learning more about trademark, or if you are contemplating registering your mark, we have a great resource called JustWannaTrademark. You can go to our website, www.justwannaquilt.com, or you can go to our store directly at justwannaquilt.bigcartel.com. You could also go to Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's a little more pricey at Amazon, but you'll get it a lot faster. We're not super speedy, but we try our best. Use our book. It works. People are it's working. People are having good results, and it's very exciting. It walks you through the process of how to choose a mark and then how to register a mark step by step. We're there to hold your hand, and it's super awesome. So you've been listening to Just Wanna Quilt, a research podcast coming out of Tulane University Law School. And I'm Elizabeth Townsend Garr. If you like this podcast, keep listening. Also, we have a Facebook group. Come join us. We talk about a lot of things. We also have an Instagram account. And of course, most importantly, I really hope you get a chance to quilt today.